Hello ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls. This is Shin and you're watching Coffee Shin TV. So I just start group purchasing with the Korean design espresso machine users. Some of the users like runs a cafe and roastery, and even one user, he imports like coffee beans from overseas. As we have users who runs roasting kind of factory or like roastery cafe, why not we just like purchase their beans together? We can share the really similar experience of their coffee, and then we can even feed back to the roastery cafe. I think it's kind of win-win. The very first group purchasement coffee beans, the bean is Solberg and Hansen. If you are really into coffee and if you live in Norway, then you may hear about the Solberg and Hansen. What I'm gonna do today is I want to make the recipe by this espresso machine. So they use this espresso machine so we can share the profile. They can use it as the recipe, but if they want to like pursue better taste, they can use it as a guide, not just a recipe, so they can just tweak it and even just make new profile and then share it to the other customers. And the other thing is not only just profile, I want to share the water. So I've prepared 4 bottles of water and they are all different. These two are quite soft water and these two are still soft, still much softer than Evian, but quite harder than these two. I'm just testing with the 4 waters.
Actually, I just use it 2 water because I really cannot handle that much of caffeine, to be honest. And those two are similar and those two are similar. So I didn't need to test with similar waters, you know what I mean?
So I can share the water and we are gonna use the same beans, even the same roasting date. And then you can share the same profile, then the coffee taste will be really similar to each other. We can kind of say we can share the same cup. I dare not say the same, similar. But in the past, it can never be done. Even though you use the same bean, water is different from different places. But if we use the bottle of water from the same company and same brand, then the problem is just solved. Firstly, I'm gonna start with this water, 지리산수. And I have 2 grinders. One is niche zero and one is Mahlkonig Tanzania. And this one is flat burr grinder and this one is like conical burr grinder. And their character is really different. And the first bean I'm gonna use is half and half. I think this is the representative blend of Solberg and Hansen.
Half and half is well balanced with equal parts of dark and light roasted coffee.
And is our most popular espresso blend.
Let's get started.
It's not really light. It's blended, so some of them are kind of like light color. Some of them are quite dark. And I'm gonna use 18 grams of coffee in 15 grams basket. And the dial is on here. Let's grind. And I got like this. 17.4 grams out, and the first profile that I'm gonna use is obviously gentle and sweet. I'm gonna start with gentle and sweet and then taste it and then decide if I want to change the profile or just tweak the profile a bit. And I'll just not use the stop and wait, even though I'm gonna use the scale. So I'll see how the extraction goes and then just stop it manually. Okay, and start. There you go. And 38.8 grams out. The extraction actually went quite fast. And the total extraction time was 26 seconds, but it has like pre-infusion at 4 milliliter per second. So it's quite fast extraction, but I just taste it. It has quite sharp aroma and quite bright acidity, but the acidity is not really strong. And as espresso gets cooling down, the sharpness of the acidity gets like sharper and sharper. But the acidity is quite pleasant, so it's still drinkable, but it has like kind of sharp after in my tongue. And actually the aroma is really clean. The chocolatey aftertaste is really good, but still it's quite intense and sharp. But as in Americano, it should be taste like not too bad. Yeah, now the chocolatey like aroma gets stronger. Those chocolate aroma just bangs in my nose kind of thing. If I want to make it taste better, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the flow profile and remove the pre-infusion step and decline step and set the flow rate at the highest 8 milliliter per second, the same temperature. And now I want to use like 16.5 to 17 grams of coffee. And the second shot. The pressure got kind of like way too high. It's at 10 bar. But the coffee comes out nicely, but it'll take like quite a long time to finish the extraction. And I extracted 37.2 grams and it took 31 seconds total. And the highest pressure was a bit more than 10 bar, but it drops down to a bit lower than 7 bar. So I tasted. It got heavier, but the taste is not that sharp. It's kind of nutty when it's hot, but the aroma is not that clear. I think it's still hot, so I just wait. But aftertaste got really longer. The aroma is kind of hollow. When I sip it, the aroma is really weak and it's kind of like developing. So aftertaste is kind of like stronger. The aroma is kind of sweet, but this coffee is not really sweet itself. The acidity is really, really low this time. The chocolate kind of aroma is not that clear. So it's kind of like too much aroma is in there, so I can barely feel like it's clear chocolate, but it's kind of like chocolate but woody mixed up. It's kind of smoky or something. So I need to drop down the pressure and also like shorten the total extraction time with this profile. So I'm gonna change the grinder dial to a bit coarser. I'll just turn it to about here. And I'm gonna use the same amount of coffee. It's 17 grams. It was like 16.8 grams, so I think it's okay. And the same profile. Start again. There you go. The pressure was on point, lower than 7 bar, but the flow rate was really fast. It's like more than 6 milliliter per second and last, but I still taste it. And this time, the aroma is strong at first and then gets weaker at last. It's quite acidic, and the sharpness is not like too much as the first one, but it's quite light, so it's quite easy to drink. It's acidic, but the acidity is on point. I think I like the shot, but it's quite weak. But I like it. I really like it. But it has like a bit of sharpness of the acidity. It's good, but it's sharp, so it hits my tongue. So I'm gonna change the grinder dial to get a bit higher pressure and a bit longer total extraction time. Let's do this. So in the middle. So the same amount of coffee. The pressure is just below than 9 bar. Let's go. The coffee comes up beautifully. And I'll stop here. The total extraction time is 22 seconds. That's it. Wow, very nice. So this like not too strong, not too weak. It's just kind of like balanced. And some coffee beans, if you like extract too much, then it has like really strong astringent. It doesn't have any of them. Wow. So it starts with like quite vivid aroma at first, and then sort of like getting mellow in the middle, and then gives like really good aftertaste. And it's really clear chocolate. Yeah, it's just chocolate. And a little bitterness. It's not really bitter, but a little bit of feeling like bitterness is really kind of like complete this espresso. It's not that like bad, because like when you have like medicine or something, if it's bitter, it just hits your tongue like brutally, but it's not like that. It's kind of like things in the gas of it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just gonna save the profile as the guide of the half and half espresso. So I'll just, I don't know, save it and then name it as half espresso. That's it. And I'm gonna make the half espresso profile with niche grinder. It's Conical. I use the same amount of coffee, and I'll set the dial on here about 27. So let's do this. I'm gonna go back to gentle and sweet profile for niche. There you go. The pressure is not high enough to finish the pre-infusion automatically, so I need to go like even finer. Total extraction time is quite fast as well, so the taste will be not sure, but I'll just taste it. It's not bad, but it's quite sharp, but not as like sharp as the flavor sharpness. Flavor of espresso made with the Conical grinder is the aroma and taste is kind of like long lasting. So if it starts with like this point, the aroma and taste like keep goes at the similar level. Otherwise, the flapper, the aroma starts from like this intensity, then it goes like drop down, or if it starts from here, usually it just goes up like this. So it's just so different. So I just want to make like totally different recipe for each bar types. It tastes okay. It has kind of everything. I may not say it's balanced. I may say it's kind of like has everything. It's not too much, but it's kind of like too many. It's not that strong, it's not that weak, it's okay, but it's quite heavy with the like kind of like light acidity. It's pretty good actually. So I'll just keep this as an option, but I'll try to like build up some more pressure. So I'll just change the grinder dial to finer, and I'll go to 20 and use the same amount of coffee. There's enough pressure to finish the pre-infusion automatically, and the flow goes up high at the same pressure. So I got like 35.7 grams of coffee in here, and the total extraction time was 23 seconds. So it can be a bit fast, but the extraction looks okay. And the graph seems to be quite fast, but the graph doesn't tell you if the coffee tastes good. Only the coffee tells you the coffee tastes good. It's stronger. It's a bit more intense. It's not bad, but I prefer the previous shot since the flow rate goes like really fast, even though the pressure is stable. So the before shot, the flow rate was kind of like sit on 4 milliliter per second, and the total extraction time was similar. So yeah, it's sharp at first, but still the taste like lasts on my tongue longer than the flapper. So I prefer the previous one. So I'd rather use 4 milliliter shot. Setting, preset, low, get rid of pre-infusion, set at 4 in 1 minute, and no stop or wait. There you go. So I'll change the grinder dial back to 24. Oh wait, probably 23. 17.1 grams. So there you go, 4 milliliter per second shot, flow rate shot. So I stopped at like 38.5 grams, and total extraction time was 24 seconds, and flow is just stable and pressure changes automatically. And the highest pressure was 5.5 each bar. The balance is okay. It's quite bright and heavy at the same time. But probably I extracted like a bit more. So probably maximum 36 grams is better than this. And this is still great. Nice. So I'll set this as half and half niche espresso. So I'll just set the stop weight at 36 grams. There you go.
To be continued in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out.